Hi guys, Matthew Gilby from My Agent Real Estate here. I'm joined by the lovely Lee Newen. She is our Senior Property Manager, Area Specialist in the Northwestern Suburbs. Hi Lee.
Hey Matt, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. We're bringing you the August Property Management Monthly Wrap, and we are still in lockdown 6.0. So Lee and myself are at the comfort of our homes, trying to navigate or work and home life balance at the same time. We actually, the reason why I brought Lee in to talk today is we've had a very interesting and complicated COVID positive apartment complex. So yeah, it's an interesting one and a fun one, and Lee's having to deal with a lot of different stuff associated with it. So Lee, tell us a bit about the experience.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of people would have known that the New South Wales removalists who came down to Melbourne, unfortunately, it was one of our apartments in Maribyrnong. What are the chances? Like, I remember just hearing it on the news and thinking, oh my God, what building could that be? And then next morning, 8 a.m., it was one of the ones that we managed. And so we went into the tenants, so the
It's,
renters
quite-
went.
it's interesting, wasn't it, Lee? Like, we sort of woke up and then all of a sudden Western Public Health Unit and Director of Housing were frantically ringing. I had 4 or 5 missed calls, and I'm sure you had the same. And then from there it was like sort of all systems go to try and jump on top of it.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
what did they say to you when they rang?
Well, as soon as they called, they wanted to find out every single renter, every rental provider, everyone that was living in there. Myself, I was there on the day that the removers was there, our tradies, but also in the building at the same time. So it was like a bomb had gone off, like we
It's
all had to go
incredible,
into
yeah.
isolation.
It's funny, like I remember at the time when they started ringing it, you kind of freak out a little bit, like it's
Yes.
something we do on a day by day basis, and it was kind of like, well, how can we help here? And I know with Western Public Health, we had to provide them a lot of information about. I think we managed something like 30 or 40 apartments in that complex, and many other buildings associated around it. And we had to contact our trades, obviously, and all the
Yes.
renters, and we were aware. They made us aware that there was positive cases after the fact in that building too. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I got told by Western Health after a few days that there were a few cases of COVID positive in the building, mainly like on specific levels. And I had so many rental providers call me freaking out, saying that they felt unsafe, they didn't want to be there. But I could confirm that most of the renters who were COVID positive were taken out straight away. And I heard a lot of good feedback that, they were well looked after, oxygen levels were checked, COVID testings were done. I tried to do
Where did the
everything.
renters go, Lee? The people living in the apartment, obviously, the government came in pretty quickly. So what
Yeah.
happened? Where'd they go?
I believe they were taken out and taken into Holiday Inn in the CBD straight away. So they were nowhere near the building. As soon as they got the positive result, they were immediately taken out. So, I feel like that's a pretty good turnaround, and it makes the other renters in the building feel a bit more safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And the poor people that had to go and do that, the isolation,
Yeah.
that you mentioned to me the other day that they got support from doctors and had like regular checks and tests and all. Was there anything else? Like, what else did the government do to step up?
Yeah, I believe that they were provided, one of the COVID positive cases advised that, they were fed, they were looked after by doctors every 2 to 3 days, just checking up on them. They had financial assistance from the government. So I felt like Western Health and Director of Housing tried or did more than, like, they went above and beyond what, a lot of us probably would have thought.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of bad press in the media, but it's good to hear that that some things like this are actually going well too. And I know you're a very, very kind person, Lee. I know
Oh,
this, and I know that you
thanks.
actually organise some things for our renters as well. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I know, anyone that's stuck in there would have been pretty tough, because quarantine or being in isolation is really hard enough, and now they can't even leave leave their house or apartment. So I was able to organise Silk's Volunteer. They're very, very lovely. Just a company running in Victoria, helping and assisting those who are in isolation. And they cooked like hundreds of meals and just dropped it off in front of Maribyrnong for the renters who needed it most.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, obviously there was those that tested positive that had to be removed and they were taken care of, but everybody else got locked down for 14 days in a hard lockdown too. So really great that you could, help out a few people there. We may as well do the name drop. They're called Seek, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's Seek Volunteers Australia.
I actually saw them a little while ago on as a current affair or something like that. One of the news channels doing the big batch cooking and taking food out. They're really great guys. Hopefully I've got the name there right. Hopefully I didn't butcher that, but yeah, really fantastic. And thanks, Lee, for doing that. I mean, that's just brilliant.
And not only that, not only the volunteers, but I had a lot of rental providers reach out to me. And that's another assistance where most of the rental providers just wanted to send flowers, send gift cards, like Uber Eats cards to their renters. And I thought, it's so good that everyone just had come together just to do everything they can to help our renters who are stuck in there for the 14-day duration.
Yeah, really great to hear. The community aspect associated with this sort of stuff is just brilliant, isn't it? It's really good. And the good part about it is you've got very good relationship with both sides, being rental providers and renters. So
I try.
being able to band them together and get a positive outcome is great. Well, thanks very much for joining me today, Lee. It's been a wonderful insight. It's just a weird and wonderful thing that we've just gone through with the positive test in that building, the positive COVID case. Not something I thought we'd have to deal with, but you did really, really well. And thanks for just giving us some insights as to the fallout of something like that.
No, thanks for having me today, Matt. Just wanted to share my experience.
Hopefully I get to see you in the flesh soon if these lockdowns come up with a bit of luck. Other than that, guys, thanks very much, and we'll see you again next month. Bye.